Dick Levenson and Bill Link, who are the creators of Columbo, um, had gotten the show sold to NBC as part of this wheel of shows called the NBC Mystery Movie, and it was all produced by Universal. And it was Columbo and McMillan and Wife and McLeod. I think those are the three, and they were looking for writers. You know, I think each show was going to make 7 or 8 90-minute episodes, and combined it would be a season of television. Maybe it was 8 apiece, I think. So I got a call from Dick Irving. Dick Irving, Steve. And he told me about Columbo, and he said, you know, the guys want to meet me. And I said, Dick, it's a mystery show. I said, I don't know anything about mystery writing. It's a mystery to me. I don't have a clue about that stuff. He said, do it. It's going to be great. It'll be fine. Because I'd actually been laid off. This was in 1971. And I'd been laid off for like 6 or 8 weeks, which is what they always did at Universal. The second the TV season was over, if you didn't have anything specific to do, boom, they laid you off, because all their contracts were like for 40 out of 52 weeks. So I was just sort of sitting home twiddling my thumbs, looking to try to get a freelance assignment here and there. In fact, I did get a freelance assignment for Room 222. Gene Reynolds hired me to write an episode here at 20th Century Fox, as I recall. Anyway, he said, no, this is good, you'll do this, and go meet the guys. So I went to meet Dick and Bill, who were just the most amazing guys I'd ever met. You know, they were polar opposites. Dick was, you know, tall and energized, and you know, his leg was always going a mile a minute, and he talked like a machine gun, and you know, he was just firing all the time, and Link would just sort of sit there and smoke a cigar and just throw little zingers at you. But they were brilliant. They were just a great team. And they told me what they were doing, and they just said, come on, you'll work with us. First of all, they had the pilot, so I was able to look at the pilot for Columbo. It was a movie that they had written called Prescription Murder. And it was great. You know, Peter Falk, who had not been their choice for the role. They wanted Bing Crosby to be Columbo. And for one reason or another, either Bing Crosby wasn't available or wasn't interested, whatever it was. And Universal kind of made them do it with Peter because they owed Peter a movie commitment somehow, you know. So that's sort of how that all came about. And, you know, I just said, well, okay, hell, I'll do this. You guys want me to do it, I'll do it. And, you know, that show put me on the map. It was a remarkable experience. I mean, I didn't know anything about that kind of writing. You know, the intricate plotting of Columbo that Bill and Dick were masters at, just masters at. You know, and they'd plot these damn things out and say, okay, here, go write it. Okay, you know, and then I'd write a script, and then they'd rewrite it. And the first one I ever wrote, called Murder by the Book, was directed by Steven Spielberg, who was a kid at Universal at the time, as was I. And you know, we were great pals. We'd go to lunch at Art's Deli every day and, you know, talk about what we were doing and what we wanted to do, and he was doing this Columbo, and I mean, we just had a great time. And that episode got nominated for an Emmy. In the first year of Columbo, I think there were only 3 writing nominations in the writing category, and all of them were Columbo's. And one of them was mine. I say mine, you know, Bill and Dick, of course, had their thumbprints all over every word of it. One of theirs that they had written, and one written by a guy named Jackson Gillis, who was an old mystery writer and a terrific guy. And Dick Levenson schmucked me. He kept saying to me, "Oh, you're going to win this because yours is the best one. Yours is the best. You're going to win it. There's no question you're going to win it. You're going to win it. It's the best one." And actually, I think it was the best one. It just happened to have my name on it, you know. But, oh, you're going to win it. You're going to win it. So, this is 1971. So I went out and I bought a tuxedo. It was blue denim. So 1971. This is really blue denim with, blue velvet lapels. Oh, Christ. So, and of course they won. They won, as they should, because it was their show. They created it, and so no one was going to give, some little pisher like me an Emmy. And I was devastated. I just thought, that son of a bitch, he conned me into thinking I was going to win it. But they were great. They taught me so much about structure, and how to drive a story. But they also taught me some marvelous lessons about character, and how the story serves the character. And of course, because I was a young writer and prone to, a lot of the sort of overwriting that young writers indulge in, when they would rewrite me, they would always, with great respect, explain to me why they were doing what they were doing. And I remember Levenson told me something that I never forgot. He said, Peter Falk is Columbo. He said, you don't have to write all of that stuff because that's Peter. You don't have to write Peter because Peter is Peter. He says, if you write that stuff and then Peter does what you're writing on top of being Peter, it's over the top. He said, so you want to really underwrite this character because Peter is so quirky and so imaginative with all that stuff. It was a wonderful lesson in letting the actor fill the role, and not being such a control freak about, every little characteristic that it sort of almost chokes the actor off. Because Peter was that guy. I mean, still is. Peter Falk was such a great guy. And of course, he fought with Levenson and Link constantly because he's an actor, because he's crazy, and yet. And Bill and Dick were just complete control freaks. So, there was all kinds of stuff like that. And Peter so wanted to be part of the process. It was, he really felt possessive of the character. And I think probably in Peter's career, for reasons that I'm not privy to, he had real issues with management and the bosses. And so it was like they would go to war every day. I would hear them screaming in Bill and Dick's office. Peter would go in there and, But then he'd always come out and he'd stick his head in my little cubby hole of an office where I was typing. And he was so sweet to me. How you doing? How you doing? How's it going? Oh, that script was great. This is this and this. And in that first year, when he was nominated as Best Actor, and he won. And when he went up, he made this wonderful speech in which, among other things, he thanked me by name. And it really sort of put me on the map. I mean, suddenly, I was somebody, working in the business. He was a wonderful guy. He meant a lot to me.